Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Laudits TV. First thing, we are surging towards our goal of 10k subs by the start of August. I'm leaving a little bit late at the moment. It has dropped off because I've been very busy with other things. Please go and subscribe if you like this content. Also, go and subscribe to my parent channel, Laudits, if you do like this content. It's more on the ground, it's more in person, it's more primary research. But now that selfish plug is out the way, let's get on to today's topic. The SIA, the Security Industry Authority. You'll know me and a few other YouTubers go to migrant hotels and we meet a lot of security there.
Yeah. Hero.
Imagine. All the security is going to be like, look at this one, his citizens arrested him.
Yeah, so when you have your Christmas party at the end of the year, you'll win the Security Dude of the Year award.
Who don't always have their SIA badges. When they do, they're not on display.
And Safeguard Unlimited. And what are you, security? I can see your SIA there. Good. Have you got an SIA?
I got everything.
Oh, show me then, because otherwise there's no point talking to you.
I'm not allowed to show
Yeah,
you.
you need to have it on display at all times.
And a few are saying they are these people, but we all know that the SIA requires a certain English language proficiency level, and some of the interactions make you think.
Never let them talk to us.
Just go, just leave the side, yeah.
Sorry?
Leave the side, just go, yeah. Leave the side, just go, yeah.
Can I park here?
I'm just go, I'm saying go. Yeah.
Oh, don't shout at me, mate. Don't shout at me. Don't bring it down. Bring it down. Don't shout at me.
That's the private property. Go the side, yeah.
Private, is it?
Side, yeah. That's private side, yeah. Go the
Don't make any video.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Don't make recording.
Yeah.
No, I can make a video if I want.
Thank you.
I can make a video
Leave
if I
the
want.
side, just, yeah.
So you don't want to talk?
Yeah.
And that's the topic of today's video. We are going to do an in-depth investigation into the SIA and the requirements for issuing licenses. We'll explore English proficiency standards, criminal vetting, mental health checks, and how assessments are conducted through SIA centres or delegated to licensed firms. We'll also assess potential weaknesses and corruption risks based on official data and offer balanced advice on protecting yourself from people who claim to be security but might just be hired goons.
He fosters the concern as well. Look, he's ordering you about again. Are you his boss?
Yeah.
You are?
Nothing at you. Come on, do something.
Jeez.
That's not.
Mate, you talk to everyone like that.
So let's start with the detailed examination of the SIA and its specific requirements for issuing licenses. This is the cornerstone of our investigation, so let's break it down thoroughly. The SIA's role. The SIA, created under the Private Security Industry Act of 2001, regulates private security personnel, guards, doors, supervisors, CCTV operators, ensuring they meet professional and safety standards. Now, here's the big one, which has caused a massive stir online. A lot of you do discuss it. A lot of you do question, and I question it myself when I'm talking to them. A lot of these security don't really understand what we're saying. Applicants must demonstrate sufficient English to understand instructions, communicate effectively, and comply with legal duties. This can be proven through GCSE English, grade A star to C, an approved language test like an IELTS, or an SIA conducted interview assessing speaking, listening, reading, and writing skills. The SIA emphasizes that this is a public safety imperative. So surely they allow anybody to scrimp these sort of tests or investigations, right? There are criminal record checks, so all applicants undergo a disclosure and barring service check. Between 2019 and 2024, just under 40,000 applications declared criminal convictions, with the SIA evaluating each case individually based on offence severity, time elapsed, and risk to the public. Now, a lot of you believe that these illegals that arrive do end up going on the door because a lot of them tend to visually appear and based on their accents come from Africa or Southeast Asia. So it's understandable to question whether they might be there, especially when they can't speak English.
Oh, all right, mate. That's all right. Wow, that was a bit aggressive.
That was very aggressive. Nearly caught my fingers in there.
Mate, we've only got our hands. We just wanted to talk. Sorry, I just wanted to talk. Why don't you want to talk? Oh, we've got good food there. Is this not open to the public then, I'm guessing? Hello?
Individuals detained under the Mental Health Act within the last 5 years are ineligible, reflecting concerns about psychological stability and security roles. And there are some other eligibility criteria, such as having the right to work in the UK, funny that, and not be bankrupt or subject to certain court orders. Now, this all sounds lovely, and all sounds very official, and all sounds like it's protecting the public. But if the assessment's not done centrally through the SIA, then we've got to trust these licensed security companies to do the right thing. Surely that depends on ownership and who owns these security companies. We'll be delving into that in a lot more detail on a later video. So let's look at the potential weaknesses in the SIA's process. English proficiency challenges. The SIA requires robust language evidence, but with 30,000 small boat arrivals in the year to April 2024 and net migration at just under 700,000 last year, the influx of non-English speaking applicants may strain delegated assessments. No official data confirms widespread failures, but public complaints suggest variability. And if it took almost 2 decades for the rape gang scandal to be investigated, how long do you think it might take for official records to demonstrate what could be happening here within the SIA? Criminal vetting strain. The SIA's manual review of just under 40,000 criminality declarations involves assessing factors like offence type and rehabilitation. With thousands of applications annually, the process's scalability and consistency are under question, especially if delegated firms lack rigorous oversight. There's the mental health and eligibility gaps, which relies on self-reporting and DBS data. The right to work check, which is crucial with high migration, depends on Home Office data, potentially missing irregularities. And this is just something I'm thinking that everyone else is thinking, and we could probably prove it if people opened their books and were more transparent, but we are relying on people to not be corrupt and not give advantages to other people from their own background, their own ethnicity, their own culture. Corruption's rife. It happens. So who's to say it's not happening here? Now, while SIA training centres and licensed firms must adhere to standards, the delegation of initial assessments, so language tests, to private entities, there are over 300 approved centres, could lead to inconsistent application. And where there's no central oversight from the SIA, it may not fully monitor these firms' compliance. And of course, like with most organisations, there are transparency limitations, and the SIA's refusal to release misconduct data due to cost, it's always a great excuse, hinders public scrutiny. I always do love that one. We can't do this because of cost. Oh, but you can receive 6-figure bonuses, right? Okay, yeah, good one. The complaints process allows escalation to the Parliamentary and Health Services Ombudsman, but without aggregated outcomes, it's hard to gauge systemic issues. Now, we're going to look at corruption risks. Could foul play be involved? Remember, this is all opinion. This is part of the analysis, the investigation, trying to piece things together. And you always know when you're getting close to the truth because people start to fight back, protecting their dodgy lives. So let's see what sort of backlash I get on this one. We look at anecdotal evidence. There are people that highlight concerns about SIA staff with poor English, suggesting possible lax vetting by delegated firms. The volume and oversight vulnerabilities, the SIA's manual review of these just under 40,000 criminality cases and delegation to private entities could create opportunities for oversight failures or bribery. Though no evidence of financial misconduct has been published, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There are political and immigration pressures. Labour's £5 million daily spend on asylum seeker accommodation may indirectly pressure the SIA to process migrant applications swiftly, potentially compromising vetting rigour. And then we've got the complaints and transparency. The SIA's complaints procedure allows appeals to the PHSO if unresolved, but the lack of published complaint data raises questions about accountability. Some would argue that this could indicate inefficiency rather than corruption. Corruption requires proof, such as audit findings or whistleblower testimony. Current evidence points to potential administrative strain rather than deliberate misconduct. But the SIA's lack of transparency erodes trust. So, how can you protect yourself against, well, fake security guards, really, or those that shouldn't really have these badges because they don't meet the minimum thresholds? Well, these are sort of the things that me and other YouTubers assess when we're dealing with the security. And one's verifying credentials. So request to see the SIA badge. It should always be on display unless you're in a part of a covert operation where it doesn't need to be on display, but it should always be on display. The licenses are valid for 5 years and include a photo and license number. You can report suspicious staff via the SIA contact form. So if you've ever seen our videos and thought this person, I don't know, doesn't look legitimate, please report them. The SIA should welcome reports of those who are not acting professionally in the capacity that they sit in.
I don't.
You are not allowed to
See,
take
we're not here
pictures,
to.
please.
We're not.
You are not allowed
What
to
is
take
going on?
pictures. You are not allowed to take pictures,
Look at
please.
this guy, man.
You see that?
You are not allowed to take
Yeah, I
pictures.
understand. I
I'll
understand.
talk to you.
I'm only doing my
Yeah,
job.
let's go outside.
I'm only doing my job. You are not allowed to take pictures. I'm only doing my job. The last time you came, we were not rude to you. The last time you came here, you know
I
this.
wasn't rude to you.
Huh? You weren't rude.
How was I rude to you?
Okay, you weren't rude and we were rude to
How was
you.
I rude to
We
you?
received you politely and respectfully. I'm only doing my job. And if you're in my position, you will do the same.
I wouldn't be screaming at people though.
I'm not screaming, man.
Assess competence. If a guard's English is inadequate or behaviour seems unprofessional, document it and report to the SIA. Wow. SIA, take your pick from all the potential vetting failures that have gone on at these hotels. You can file a complaint if you encounter issues, escalate to the PHSO if needed, so they're the ones above the SIA, as I mentioned earlier. But also, let's be a little bit balanced here and say the SIA oversees a large workforce, over 1,800 licensed firms, and most staff are likely competent. Focus on specific incidents rather than broad distrust to ensure fair scrutiny is what I would usually say. However, there are probably hundreds, if not thousands, of video evidence of this security at these migrant hotels acting unprofessionally with very poor English, very low impulse control, that really shouldn't have those licenses if they are legal and valid. But what do you think, everyone? Let me know in the comments. You're usually very good at that. And let's see what we uncover from some of these security firms that look after these migrant hotels. Ooh, you're not going to believe something. See you on the next one.